So many game categories. Huh. This might actually be an interesting category. If I ever wanted to get into like game development or something. I might change the category to here. I'll give this category a try rather than StarCraft 2. Okay. I haven't worked on my bot for a long time, so I thought I'd maybe get back into the idea of loading an advanced drop. So the drop is going to involve a squad that's a medevac, 2 SCVs, 1 Cyclone, 1 Hellion. And the idea of this drop is that the Cyclone can kind of lock onto the SAG defense and take it out. Missile turrets, spine crawlers, things like that. Hellion's good at killing light units, namely workers, since it's probably going to be Harass. And then all this fits inside the medevac, so I can have 2 auto-repairing SCVs inside the medevac. Meaning whenever I pick up the Cyclone or pick up a Hellion, it's a little known fact, when the auto-repairing SCVs and the Cyclone are inside the medevac, the Cyclones are able to repair, or sorry, the SCVs are able to repair the Cyclone. They're also able to repair the Hellion. And then from there, I can even get more advanced. So like, I can drop out the SCVs to repair the medevac. I can convert the Hellion into a Hellbat to heal the Hellbat with the medevac. Do all sorts of different things. but it's basically just going to be like an army of it on its own that's built out of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 supply. And then if I build this correctly, then I can make as many of these as I want in my bot. And I can have like 7 of these little harass squads out there like micring like crazy all at the same time. That's the goal. So, but to start with, I just want to kind of make something that somewhat works with just like a cyclone and a medevac. That'll be like step 1. So I tried to stream on this topic a few months ago. Didn't get very far with it. Let's close some of this stuff off. Yeah, so the way it's going to work is I have the idea of a squad. Hold the squad ID. And then this particular squad is a Reaper Harass drop. Repair Harass drop. Sorry, that makes more sense. There's no Reapers involved. The Accent squad, and it's going to contain, there's the Medevac, the Cyclone, the Hellions, and the Max SCVs. And they're all going to share the same squad ID, and that's how they're going to be able to kind of communicate with each other. I made just some basic stub method last stream. And this is going to do nothing more than if I need an SCV, it's going to grab an SCV. If I need a Hellion, it's going to add a Hellion to the squad. So whenever I don't have at least these units, it's going to grab one and add it on. Yeah. And then I have micro objects for each of these. So this is going to be like the Cyclone or the Repair Harass drop and the Medevac. So let's start with the Medevac. We'll do something simple to start. I do need the on step. So what should my Medevac do? Do something very simple. Basically, I just kind of want to yeah, so let's set the target position. What does the default do? Just looking for like closest air target, closest enemy target. So what do we want this medevac to do? Let's start with target random enemy base. So that would be so look at all the bases. Weird. No, it's just a public field. Okay. So we're filtering the list of bases to ones that are enemy bases. Okay, this is finding the first enemy base. I want to do random. I feel like I've done random in a stream before. I can't remember how though. I already have a method for this. Random unknown base position, random hello position. I guess we just copy this method. Enemy base position. It's a better way of doing this, but whatever. This is good enough. What's going on? What is going on? Why isn't it? Okay. Okay, so that's the target position. So that's where I want to fly my medevac to. But there's all the other scenarios, right? So what about when the cyclone's attacking? Where do I want my medevac to go to? Where's this method even used? I'm just calling it from onStep. Yeah, I guess I'm using my own onStep, so I don't even really need to override this method. Let's just throw it all in onStep for now. So let's start by getting the cyclone. Hmm. Oh, get squad members. I actually made a method for this last stream? I guess so. So I pass in the squad ID, and it gives me all the units that have that ID. Interesting, okay. Is camping with Planetary Fortress viable these days as a gold plat? um, I mean, it depends if you think your opponents will just slam their face into the planetary. Camping behind planetaries typically means you're falling behind economically. So you want to get like a really good endgame army, like mass battle cruiser or something. And you really hope that your opponent just keeps attacking into your defensive wall. Because otherwise they can just have a much bigger economy and get a better endgame death ball before you. But I would imagine in Golden Plat, people just kind of want to cheese or slam their head against the wall, so you can get some good wins that way. Kind of relying on strategical errors of your opponents, but that's okay. And especially if you're a better endgame player than they are. Um, Wait, what? Basic unit micro. Oh, that's within here. Okay. So I don't need the squad ID. It already knows the squad ID. So what do I want to do? If no any unit is currently dropped, then get close to that unit. Otherwise, targets a random enemy base. No, but I can't do this every game frame, or it's just going to be randomly selecting bases all the time. So I need the medevac itself probably needs to have a base position. Uh, base target position. Why is it doing that? Okay. In fact, rather than position, let's just store the entire base so I have some information on the base. Base target equals null, or base target dot, or if it's not an enemy base anymore, then we assign a new enemy base. Okay, so getting a random enemy base. So all I gotta do is get rid of that. Okay. Okay, so when all of the units are loaded inside the medevac, it's going to fly towards the base position. My generic code within here should handle, flying away from enemy threats and stuff. And just actually giving the command. So I just kind of want this method to set the position. So how do I define this if any unit is currently dropped? How does is alive work? Wondering if units. Wonder if the API thinks a unit is dead if it's inside a medevac. I assume it's probably not that dumb. Where does this get called? Who knows? Okay, we'll use this. Wait a minute, the squad members is going to include my own medevac. Let's exclude the medevac. Filter, okay. So I'm looking at all the squad members, making sure it's not a medevac, and then asking if any of them are currently visible. Is there a better method for this? Okay, last scene loop. I created a helper method for this. Is in fog of war. Is alive and yeah, let's use that one. Any unit is not the fog of war. Okay. The fog of war is kind of weird. Means it's something I know is alive, but I can't see. So that also includes stuff inside my medevac. Okay. So we can use this variable now. So if any unit is dropped, then I want to target that position. I need information on that unit though. Oh, let's do it outside of this. Yeah, position. Okay. Okay, so the medevac, we check all the squad members. We check to see if any of them is not a medevac and is on the ground currently. So if there's a unit that's part of the harass is on the ground, then we're going to try to fly towards that unit. If there's not, then we assume the medevac is loaded and we're just going to fly towards the next target. And I guess we probably should put this inside that set target position. Okay, and then in this generic thing, it's gonna use that target position to figure out how to get there. And give the moving command. So this medevac's gonna have to do more things in the future, but like pick up units that are asking for a pickup. Actually, that's pretty easy to do. We can just look at the commands of the squad members. So we look at these units. No, wait. I have to use the action helper for this to work in real time. And I kind of want this to work in real time because this is something that might work well against humans. Shit. Can't remember how this works. It's been too long. Action issued? I think that's the one. Get current order. Unit micro dot. Programming map hack. Now this is a bot that plays StarCraft 2. There is an API created by Blizzard and DeepMind. And there's a competitive scene actually for bots that play each other. So a new season just started, so the bot count is a little bit low, but you can see 16, 15, 17. Yeah, we got about 70 bots, 60, 70 bots playing right now. And then there's tournaments every once in a while. Here's my dude. I have them using random strategies. If I have them use strategies that work well versus specific opponents, then my bot will probably be up around number 5, number 6 on the ladder. But these two are like god mode bots. -0 and Harass. 92% win rate, 88% win rate. They beat me about 100% of the time. I got a couple builds that work sometimes versus -0, but yeah. Too good. Okay, so what that guy's doing. So let's save this current order. It's a better way to do this. Target tag equals the medevac tag. Unit entering medevac. I guess technically there could be multiple units trying to enter the medevac, so let's get the closest run rather than just find first. Let's sort them by distance. It's starting to get confusing for me. Unit and what? No. Yeah, too many layers. Right, okay. So if that's present, we're going to pick up that unit. So Um, abilities. Smart is like a right click. Unit ability, target unit. False. Okay, so we're looking at all of the squad members. We're finding any that has a current order that's targeting the medevac, which would be, which means the unit's trying to get inside the medevac. And if any of those are present, then we're also going to give that medevac the command to pick up that unit. And of course, we're sorting it by whichever squad member is closest to the medevac. Pick up the closest one first. Otherwise, we do the basic micro, which involves flying towards the target position. And the target position is either staying as close to a dropped unit as possible, or staying as close to or to fly towards the enemy base. And whenever the enemy base is dead, we find a new enemy base. Can you watch games live? Yeah, actually, if you're on Twitch, I think there is a 24-hour stream, AI Arena stream. So there's two sorts of competitions they have, but one is just a basic micro map, which is basically just like the micro arena on in the arcade of StarCraft 2. So it'll show like half those replays, and then the other half of the replays are going to be actual games by the bots on the ladder. And then if you go to like Versus AI channel on YouTube, there's tournaments. Like ProBots runs 3 tournaments a year, and SC2 AI runs 1 tournament a year. The other cool thing is these games are also observed by a bot. So the one controlling the camera is actually another bot that's written for that. Yeah, it's addicting. I was big into it like 3 years ago, where I was putting a lot of time in. Now, like every once in a while, maybe once a month, I'll put a couple hours in. Usually don't get too far with anything, but my bot's pretty solid as is. Just not competitive to actually win a tournament anymore. Although I won one last year. So if I get lucky, I guess it can work. Lings versus Reapers. That's definitely going to be a tough one to win. I'm not sure how balanced these micro maps are, but pretty close. I wonder how many. I've never actually seen any of these matches before. There used to be an old micro map that was just one attack and it was over. Looks like this one is like they give you an army, and then they give your opponent an army, and then you reverse roles. So it's completely fair that way. Micro Caninana. Caninana is one of the top Zerg bots on the regular ladder as well. Perilous Protoss bot versus Nita is up next. Okay, so this will be like a normal SC2 game. I think. Yeah, Bizzle Reef. These, I think, are both Division 4 bots, so probably, you know, a bot that's only had a few hours put into it on each side. Are they both proxying each other? No. Nita's just scouting. Perilous Protoss bot is doing some sort of proxy. Good old 4-gate Zealot all in. Someone's really overcommitting to killing a pylon. All right, anyways. Let's get back to mine. So, yeah. So I think this is good enough of a starting spot for this medevac. Oh, I guess the other thing we need to do is we need to drop the Cyclone, right? That would make sense. Um, mm. Pick up UN's me has to be picked up. Yeah, okay, for now we'll just hard code it to the Cyclone. Cyclone versus enemies. So if Cyclone is empty, I'm gonna drop the cyclone. So right. How do I do that? The whole reason I'm doing this drop is because I open the ability to, in the framework, to drop individual units. That requires the feature layer. I can't even remember how to do it though. Is it in the action helper? Unload, here we go. The medevac is that. And the cyclone would be no, this isn't right. The cyclone object will always exist. What's the same name? Whatever. Okay. Cyclone object. I need to use that isn't fog of war. I should rename this method too. Because this is also for units that are inside medevacs and stuff. But whatever. Rename it later. So if the cyclone is in the fog of war, then we unload the cyclone. Passenger unit. Passenger tag. What the hell is a passenger tag? I forgot how this works. Passenger tag. Oh, it's probably just the unit tag. Let's make that more obvious. Passenger unit tag. Okay. Okay, so this checks to see if the cyclone is inside the medevac, but also let's create a helper method for this actually. It's more obvious. Is in medevac. Okay. Okay, so what the hell are we doing? Drop a cyclone versus enemies. All right, so this is checking to see if it's in the medevac, but I also want to check to see if I'm near an enemy. Need a bot to troll whiners. Reach out for a collaboration. Yeah, actually, if you go to the aiarena.net, on the front page, there should be a link to the Discord. And then the Discord is where all the authors hang out. And I think there's even a Discord channel for, people who want to collaborate and build bots together. Because I'd say about 80 to 85% of the bots are made by an individual author, and the other ones are made by a team of 2 or more people. It's definitely an advantage to be on a team, that's for sure. Helps for motivation, and then also you get more shit done with 2 people than with 1. Yeah, so we're near enemy units. So how do I check this? Nearest enemy. This method looks decent. Unit and a range. How does this work? Okay, so if the cyclone's in the medevac, I find enemy targets within 10 range in the medevac. And then if any of them exist, I'll drop out the cyclone. So if enemy targets that list of enemy targets is not empty, then we drop the cyclone. All right, so that's not bad. So we got medevac and we got cyclone. What can the medevac do now? It can fly towards enemy base. It can route the cyclone versus enemies. And it can pick up the cyclone, or any unit that wants to be picked up, it can pick up. So now we just need to code the cyclone, and then we got the starters of our, version 1 of 10 of our complex harass bot, or harass squad. So what do I want to do with the cyclone? I want to, all sorts of attacks. Attack slash lock on. I want to enter medevac when done or low HP. What else? That's about it, right? The medevac decides when to drop the cyclone. The cyclone decides when to get into the medevac. I guess that's more or less it. That's all we gotta put into the cyclone. Probably steal some info from our main cyclone. Class. Probably want to do it a little bit differently. But maybe for now we will actually... Oh, good. It's already extending the cyclone. Okay, so I got all this info. So what does a normal cyclone do? So I think I can actually use the normal Cyclone micro I already have. But I probably want to set the target position a little bit differently. Um, yeah, that's fine. So this I want to do differently for sure. So when it's low, I just want to enter the medevac. Say 30% health. Actually, I probably don't want this at all. We're setting the target position. I'll put this into the on step. If I'm at 30% health, I'm going to enter the medevac. So squad members of type. Oh, I got some useful stuff last time I did this on stream. I totally forgot. Medevac. What am I doing with this medevac? I'm entering the medevac. So action helper, unit command, Cyclone, smart move, medevac. Is that 30% or 30 health? 30 health. Okay, let's make it 40 health. Under 40 HP. All right, so we did this. And then I think the generic Cyclone Micro will be good enough for attacks and lock-ons. All right, I think we got the basics of this. How do we want to test this? Draw pass, harass, and units on step. So I need to create a squad. Random ID. So just a new squad. No, a new. Reaper harass squad drop, which calls that. Okay. So we'll add new units. So I guess the other thing the medevac needs to do is it needs to pick up units when I'm not in the middle of fighting. I need to just pick up everything that's part of the squad. Okay, we should probably do the SCVs as well. We'll do the SCVs super basic. All they want to do is be on auto repair and inside the medevac. That should be super simple. That got 0. Yeah. Yeah, obviously I'm just kind of hacking it together right now. But I would assume the moment my medevac dies, I'll probably dissolve the entire squad. Like if I dropped a bunch of things into the enemy base and then my medevac dies, I'm just going to let my units turn back into regular micro units. The cycle can just do whatever it normally does, and SCVs can try to get back to mining. They'll probably never make it out alive, but they can try. So I think my premise for this drop is like if I lose other units, the squad stays together. But if I lose the medevac, that's it. The squad's done. So in that case, I think that that get 0 should be okay. Because in theory, the squad should never exist unless there's a medevac. But I'm going to have tons of bugs like that. Probably as I get started. So turn on auto repair and enter medevac. That's the only two things I want these SCVs to be doing right now. Down the road, I think the SCV is probably going to have more code than any other unit. Because they'll be like hopping out and repairing the medevac and stuff. But we'll see. So here's the problem. I'm not sure if there's a way to know if a unit has auto repair turned on or not in the API. It might be a buff. Automated repair? Maybe? They put in a whole bunch of crap from the campaigns and stuff as well. So a lot of these things don't even exist. Like Artana's vortex behavior. I don't know what the hell that is, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist in the game. Automated repair sounds correct, but I know there's a lot of automatic repairing stuff in the campaign, which makes me wonder. Alright, anyway, so if it doesn't contain that, then we'll toggle it on. Toggle autocast, that's the one. Shit, this isn't good for real time though. Oh well. Tag and ability. Tag and ability. Okay. If oh, having a brain fart. Once medevac dies, have them all run around and panic. The one thing they do have in the game is you can dance. We do, or in the API, they did give us the dance command. Although I think the only Terran units that can dance is Marine, which is too bad. On BattleNet, you can unlock dance for other units, but I don't think we have that in the botting thing, which is too bad. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, so basically, if the SCV is not in the medevac, put it in the medevac. So if is in fog of war. There might be another way to do this actually than using this method. I can check to see. Take a look in this method. Passenger index. Where do I use this? If I give a unit. So if I pass in the medevac unit, and the passenger tag. Yeah, that's probably better. Let's use this instead of. Why is it static? Returns -1 if it's not inside the medevac. Okay. So I can use something like this for the SCV as well. What am I doing? What does this return? A list. Let's create another get 0 null pointer exception. So that is the medevac. It's not equal -1. Wait, what? What am I doing? Unit and tag. Okay. So if it equals -1, it's not a pattern yet, so then we'll give it the commands to load. Oh. Here's a problem though. In the future, I'm going to want. There's two types of way the SCV is going to be targeting the medevac. They might be targeting it to repair, or they might be targeting it to get inside the medevac. So I need to handle that in the future. Medevac and not queued up. And that's literally all I want to do with the SCVs. So yeah. For now, that's enough. So turn on auto repair, put them inside the medevac. Turn on auto repair if it's off. Then enter the medevac. Whatever, good enough. Okay. So we got SCVs. SCV is pretty basic. Turn auto cast repair. Inside medevac. That's all it does. Okay, now we just want to test this. So where was that? Right, so right now my squad object does nothing but add new units to the squad that it needs. So there'll be no Hellions for the moment. Yeah, that's fine. So we're testing. I just need to create one of these squads. And I just need to spawn some and medevac 2 cyclones and a Hellion. Okay, let's all right. Cyclone. Spawn 1. SCV, spawn 2. Although I already have SCVs. Whatever. And brain part, medevac. Reaper draws Harass. What do I do with this? I guess just testing for now. I'll just throw it up at the top here. And then the very first thing we can do is Follow this method. Okay. So 100% this is going to fail. Let's see what happens. Give it a run. I got around the testing bot. Yeah, let's run the main bot. Oh. Let me kill that scene swapper. All right, so far so good. All I see is red arrows going on right now. Null pointer exception. Weird. Why is my basic worker micro failing? Breakpoints. See what's going on here. Idle SCVs is null. Ooh. I mean, it's got to be something to do with the change I just made. Let's see what's going on with this squad. Wait, what? Oh. Do the squad. What is happening? Let's turn that off and turn this off just to see if it fixes the problem. Or did I have some garbage code in here I forgot about? Yeah, that's fine. So something about adding the two SCVs. What? So confused. It's not spawn the SCVs because something about that is breaking my butt. Oh. Hit SCV and then that's idle because it hasn't initialized the workers. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. This needs to go after the worker manager. Okay. Let's try again. Wait, what just happened? I pressed the wrong button. Idle SCVs is actually initialized now. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's see what happens here. Didn't debug spawn those units. Okay, let's try again. Come on. 10th time the charm. Nope, whole bunch of null pointer exceptions again. What is going on? Same thing. Something's not initialized on my workers yet. So when I'm trying to as new units comes here. See what's happening inside here. There's no idle SCVs. So then it checks
Target
the
acquired.
bases. Is the bases instantiated yet? Yeah, I got all the bases. And they have SCVs assigned. Okay. What is blowing up exactly? None of those. None of those. Find closest mineral mining SCV. This one should actually have a result. Oh, something died. I pressed the wrong button again. It's a problem with working on a Mac for my regular job, and then you're trying to code on a PC at home. The buttons are all in different places. The hotkeys are all different. This is the one I want. Okay, so why does this blow up? Is path safe? Target position is null. Where's the target position coming from? The nice thing about all this worker code is I've never had to look at it in the longest time. Because everything just kind of works nicely. I got one method that says like get SCV, and other than that, all my SCVs, go where they need to go. It's one part of this bot that's usually bug free, but something I'm doing here is breaking it. Target position. Target position. Target position. This is destination position. Oh, okay. I just never defined this. What the heck was even the point of this destination position? I feel like I don't need it. The medevac is kind of the central point. Let's initialize it to anything. Fix that at a later time. Okay. I think we can actually get it past the first frame of the game now. Let's see. I knew it had nothing to do with my worker code. I'm just passing a null to that worker code. Let's turn that off. Hit the right button this time. Where are the hotkeys again? F9. All right, they're not doing anything. Nice. Because it's throwing errors again. All right. As basic unit.squad ID is null. I'll fix the null pointer, but why was it null? Squad ID. Oh, okay. Right. So any unit that's not part of a squad is going to have a null squad ID. That's fine. Okay, so this should be enough of a fix. All right, let's see her this time. Same thing. Oh, right. That's exact same issue, just in a different method. Okay. All right. I think this is the one. This is the one where you get past the first frame. Nope. Oops, what'd I do? Looks like the same issue again. Get squad members of type. Let me just double check everywhere this is used. Okay, I think that's the last one place. All right, what do we got? Oh, things are happening. Okay, that just became a regular cyclone. No, it has RHD on it. So the cyclone doesn't want to go inside the medevac. Where's that cyclone micro class? Oh, because we never actually added code for that. Okay. So when the cyclone's low health, it wants to go inside the medevac, but also when there's no enemies nearby. So enemy targets type unit range 15. So if it's low health or if there's no nearby enemies, then we load into the medevac. These SCVs just went to mine. Which is interesting. I bet it's because this is wrong. I don't know what automated repair is, but I'm guessing it's not right. Yeah, so first frame out, all the SCVs get sent to mine, and then it probably just keeps jumping in this block because it doesn't understand what this is. So it's just constantly toggling the auto repair on and off. That's my guess. All right, so this is the second frame. So this SCV probably should have auto repair turned on. Buffs. Where are they? No buffs. I feel like I use auto repair in my bot somewhere. Yeah. It looks like I just toggle it without knowing if the SCVs are on auto repair or not. Oh, I just try to remember to turn it off when I'm done with them. Yikes. Okay. That's not a good way of doing it, but I guess if the API doesn't give us the information, I'm just going to remember manually whether the SCVs have auto repair on or off. So I guess we'll just keep a boolean. Is auto repair on? If it's not on, then we give it the action, and then we set it to true. And then if I ever disassemble this squad at some point, I'm gonna have to remember to turn auto cast off again. Otherwise, I'll completely lose track of what SCVs have auto repair on or off. Okay, let's try that.
Target acquired.
Right, Cyclone if there's no enemies nearby. Right, and then it's going to give a command to... Okay, I think this is probably going to be working. Let's let it run. All right, something hopped inside the medevac. That's progress. Oh, there's an exception. Oh no, it was to get 0 after all. Uh, why? Oh, this medevac's actually not part of the... It was never assigned. Interesting. So this... The medevac's not inside my squad for some reason. So there's no medevacs in the squad, and that's less than 1, so we'll enter here. Units of type medevac. None. Right, because it's the first frame. Okay, that's fine. All right, back here on the next frame, there is a medevac. So size 0, size 1 is going to enter here. Going to find the medevac. It can. Huh. Microlist. Okay, so did it get added? Yeah, there's a medevac there. I don't understand. So by the next game frame, yeah, and even in the Cyclone micro, it can find the medevac. I can see the SCV in the Cyclone, but the medevac's not labeled. Is it still in the unit list? How did we lose it? Unit micro list dot unit micro. What? There's 2 cyclones. There's an SCV, a cyclone, an SCV again, and for some reason, another cyclone. Alien, medevac, medevac, cyclone, 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 SCV. Yes. Weird. just want to see the micro and how it works. I'm gonna get past the first game frame, man. It is adding the SCV before to the squad before anything else, because SCVs already exist. Let's just fix that. Let's move this back to the drug bot. Let's move this back. Game start. Yeah, that's weird. Oh, it's happening on the same frame. So my other code that adds cyclones to the micro list is kind of interfering. And then the medevac just doesn't get added at all, which is especially strange. Why isn't the medevac there? It does. There's a medevac. It adds it. It's literally there. Where does it go? We're in the cyclone micro. At this point, there's a medevac, cyclone, SCV, and then. God damn it. Let's turn off that other code for now. This was never even supposed to be permanent. It just became permanent part of my bot. Medevac. Yeah, I mean, this all needs to be moved into a manager class anyways. Everywhere where I add micro objects, and that way there won't be any conflict where it's two different places trying to do the same thing. Excuse me. Maybe this will fix it. It'll fix it for being weird. But we'll fix the issue of the medevac not staying inside the micro list. Okay, one SCV, one cyclone, one medevac. Nice. And by the end of the frame, we've lost the medevac. Why? Oh. Maybe the medevac is removing itself. Don't know why it would be, but so here's the medevac code. Does add the enemy base, which is nice. Cyclone's in the medevac. No. Okay. Correct. So what's going on in here? Maybe the basic micro? Oh. Ah. It's garbage method. This is not relevant to most objects. I should remove this. Okay. Let's yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just removing it from most places. Okay. Cyclone SCV. Let's do the Hellion too, just so we don't forget later. Okay. Okay. All right, at the end of the first frame, we have a medevac, a cyclone, and SCV. Second time through, it should probably try to add another SCV, right? Yeah, there we go. And by the end of the frame, we have a medevac, a cyclone, and 2 SCVs. Okay. Finally getting somewhere. And it's starting to pick them up. Let's turn off the breakpoints. And run. Okay, pick them up. So let's see what the medevac's doing. No targets in range, just not dropping the cyclone. That's good. Unit's asking for a pickup. There's none, so it's going to go into this. So why isn't it flying to the base position? Oh, I gotta call that method manually? It's not in here? I did not know that. Okay, I got the fix. I just need to call this. Cyclone doesn't even use that method. Target position. Oh no, it does. Okay. Okay. Let's give it another shot. Breakpoints off. All right. We got medevac loaded with things and they're moving. Heading towards the enemy base, which is nice. And it didn't unload. Baby steps, man. Baby steps. We don't need to test this anymore. We'll get rid of that breakpoint. So the cyclone's in the medevac. Get enemy targets. Then range 10. Let's bump that up to 15 actually. Whatever, range 10. See, this should have a whole bunch of targets, right? Enemy targets. Yeah, 20 enemy targets nearby. So if it's not empty, and it's not empty, then we unload. Unit, passenger unit tag. So as soon as it gets here, it should hit the breakpoint. Yeah. So I just saw the hatchery. So something, I may have forgotten how this unload works. I might not be giving it the right information. Unload. Oh wait, I got a breakpoint here, right? Yeah, let's walk through it. So there's 3 passengers, one of them's the Cyclone. And the passenger unit has a tag of that ends 249. And the unit tag I passed into the method is also 249. Okay, should work then. Yeah, so it finds the index of the Cyclone, returns it. It's not -1, so it comes here. And then we have to use the feature layer, so we select the unit. And then we unload that index. All that's correct. Do I have the feature layer turned on? Not sure where I got this from. Let's try this. Raw effects selection. Does that need to be on as well? You know, I was just doing my testing bot, I think. What do I have here? Oh, that needs to be true. Okay, so let's put that back. Then raw effect selection. Yeah, nice 1 a.m. coding. All right, let's see if it worked. No. Where's the testing bot? Bunker.unit, marine.tag. This is working. Get you there, raw selection. Looks the same to me. Same. This is the outer window, that shouldn't matter. The only difference is I'm using a medevac instead of a bunker. Let's add this garbage in. See if we can unload a bunker with the main bot. Hopefully this doesn't break everything. Need that. So I'm going to test Marine in a bunker. I'm just trying to get rid of the conflicting Marine. Okay. Probably created a bug here. So I just copy paste some crap code in here. Nope. Okay. Marine proxy bunker. Marine proxy bunker. What? Why is this even getting called? Oh, I'm ring created. Okay. If proxy bunker is greater than 0. I'm not doing proxy bunker, am I? Oh, I am. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, the unload's not working for the bunker either. Something weird going on. Bunker.unit and the Marine tag. Yeah. Does it work in the test spot? Is there something different in the test spot launcher? I swore I was doing this the other day, so it must have worked at some point.
Sure thing.
Test spot's running in real time. That might make a difference. So the test spot works. What if we change it to not be real time? Still worked. Let's just try to make these identical as possible. Alright, so we'll do load args. We'll set real time. Window location. Whatever. This probably shouldn't make any difference, but we'll do that. And need support true. Let's do it all in the same order too, I guess. Order shouldn't matter. Cloaked and burrowed. And then the feature layer and the raw effects. Feature layer, raw effects. Set timeout. That's just how long it waits to connect, I think. And then participants and launch. Okay. Step size. I kind of need that. The one thing I want to check real time is false. No, it's not working. Why? Why is the one launcher working, not the other? Could it be the step size? No, I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. It uses the feature layer. It uses the feature layer, so in the test bot, at the end of each frame, I gotta send the feature layer actions. That's what I'm missing. Because unloading individual units is the only thing you need the feature layer for. Okay. All right, let's get rid of all that bunker garbage I added. Does this bot break terms of service? No, because you can't play on BattleNet with it. You can play against humans, but you have to use a little local launcher. And then obviously bots can play against other bots. But we're using the exact same API that AlphaStar used. Wait, what? It still didn't work? Oh, there's no one's unloading. It did unload. Let's run it again with that breakpoint. Medevac's a little special in that it can unload while it's moving. Unload cargo. What's going on in the framework here? Goes to the cargo panel. Build. Wait, looks like it did drop it for a second there. Which is kind of odd. Still trying to unload every game frame though. It's not. But why is this here? Looks like it might have unloaded for one frame. Which would be weird. God damn it, Windows. Let's look in that Cyclone class. Let's put a breakpoint where we load the Cyclone as well. So we load the Cyclone. So even when I'm inside the medevac, it's still trying to load itself into the medevac. So I don't like that this command's being given every game frame, because the frame where I'm trying to unload it, it's also getting the command to load. So maybe it's like unloading and loading during the same game frame, which shouldn't be possible, but maybe that's what's happening. So I think what I want to do is fix that. If nothing else, I'll speed up. I'll make this code a little bit speedier. So I think the very first thing we should do in these squad objects is check to see if they're a passenger. Have we done that before? We did that with what? SCV? Let's create a Boolean. Is passenger. Okay. So it's not a passenger. And then what were we doing before this? Cyclone. Medevac. Okay, so the first thing these units in the squads do is if they're inside the medevac, then do nothing. Don't give it any commands. So we have that for the SCV and the Cyclone. This anymore. Hopefully that was a problem. Because I'm pretty sure that feature layer thing had to be the solution. All right, so it's not spamming that load command anymore. There, here comes the unload. No. Oh. It wants to load up again. All right, we need a little bit of a range difference. So load when there's no enemies within 15 range. Unload when there's no when enemies are within, say, 12. Okay, I think it's finally going to work. And then I should probably sleep. Even though I would have liked to have gone a little further. It's checking the natural. Once it sees the natural isn't there, it's going to go into the main. Unload. Trying to stay near the cyclone. I mean, it's not great, but it's doing something. It retreats while it's on lockdown. While it's retreating, it gets picked up by the medevac again. The SCVs are definitely not an auto repair. This is a problem. Why? I feel like I had a chat command to slow the game down.
Target acquired.
I can't remember. Think. Well, maybe I was getting errors. No. It's just not great. This, like, what's happening now? Start again. You want to figure out how to slow down the game, though. It's in my chat class. Chat commands. Delay colon. I think that's it. See what's happening here. Cyclone is going into default behavior. I think it's because my bot is set to defense right now. So as soon as I drop it off, it tries to run home. It's probably my guess. Lock is off cooldown. Oh. It's going back to the repair bay. I don't want that. How do I you just super.super? Is that a thing? Don't want to do this one, but I do want to do this one. Any coders in stream? How do I go up to go up the hierarchy twice with this method? I want to skip one of the like this set target position calls the generic cyclones set target position, which eventually calls the generic any unit. And I want to skip the generic cyclone, the middle one. I know in some languages you can do super to go up twice. Refers to the superclass parent object. So I want to go to the parent's parent. That's all you got there. I mean, there's hacky ways I can get around this, but parent of parent. That's a better way of saying it. Oh, there is super with parameters. Calls only the parenthesized constructor. No, that's just a super constructor. All right, let's just do it the ugly way. So in Cyclone, we'll just say let's check to see if it's one of these ones, and then we'll call the parent. Okay, that should keep it from when I drop on my cycle and the cyclone runs backwards all the time. Where am I? The cyclone, one step. You want that? Don't want this. Didn't you? All right, let's see what it looks like. Treating because it's on cooldown, which I guess is okay. Like, what's it doing right now? Why is it going home? Oh, okay. It's still running home, even though I go to the super classes set target. Because at this point in the game, this is going to be like my defensive position. I think, right? 36, 128 would be like the top left. Yeah, that's my own base. So maybe I need to make this method a little better. I'm locked on. I try to stay as close to the target as possible. If I'm on cooldown, I basically just run back home, which is good enough for now. My lock is off cooldown. Then let's find a target, right? No, because in here, I'm finding all the targets. So basically all you want to do, all you need to do here is just kind of head towards the like the base I'm attacking, more or less. So that's stored where in the medevac. And then I don't think I want this at all. All right, let's give that a shot. Cooldown so it retreats. Being on cooldown. Auto attack versus workers. Saving the lock on, which is what the normal Cyclone micro does. Saves the lock on for like a roach or something. Okay. Not too bad. Let's spawn the enemy sim units. I'm fighting more than overlords and drones. Let's give him 5 roaches. Spawn in the middle of his main base. Right, select to the natural, sees it's empty, comes here. Green goes is on cooldown. When it gets too far away, it gets picked up by the medevac anyways. Thing to lock onto. It's auto attacking. Locks onto an overlord. Hundred and 10 hit points. I want to see what happens. It gets picked up again. $53 hit points. I think if it gets low, it should get picked up by the medevac. Yeah, so the medevac's just saying to drop it, and as soon as it's dropped, he's like, I'm low hit points. So then we get picked up again. So the one thing that's definitely not working is the SCVs are not on auto repair. Okay, cyclone's good for now. Let's turn off that breakpoint. We're on the next game frame now. Yeah. Maybe he got picked up too quickly. Let's spawn the medevac a little bit further away. Could be that the SCV is getting picked up on the same frame. It's trying to do the auto repair. Okay, medevac's further away. Game loop is 2. There's the auto cast. Game loop is 4 now. Auto repair is not on. Oh. I might be doing the wrong ability. There's an effect repair SCV. That might be the one I need to do. Game loop is 4. Auto repair. And then this one gets added on this game frame. Game loop is 6. And that's got auto repair. And this one did not get turned off. Okay. I think the auto repair is working now. I need the Cyclone to take damage, though, is a problem. Built-in AI is too stupid with these roaches. Let's give him more stuff. Let's give him immortals. They do damage. All right, 5 roaches and 5 immortals. All right, we definitely took damage. It's a 96 hit points. 103. Yeah, it's getting repaired when it's inside the medevac. And it's dead. Okay, yeah, it's still very basic, but oh, yeah, and now it doesn't know what to do because it has no cyclone. Which is fine. Good first step though. Obviously the plan is to have 1 Hellion, 1 Cyclone, and 2 SCVs in there. Hellion goes out to workers, Cyclone takes out static defense. SCVs repair anything inside the medevac. They can also jump out of the medevac to repair the medevac itself. Hellion can switch into a Hellbat to get repaired by the medevac. There's a lot of little tweaks I can do. That's like crazy micro intensive, but that's fine for a bot. And then have these squads set up in a way where I can have like 4 or 5 of these little harass squads going around in different places.
Target acquired.
So the one thing is the medevac will fly as close to its target as it can, which means the medevac can fly on top of 6 immortals and it's fine. But once it drops the cyclone out over 6 immortals, so the medevac doesn't care. He's like, as long as I'm safe. So maybe the medevac should start almost like pretending like it's a ground unit as well. So it tries to stay out of range of like roaches and immortals. And that way when it drops off the cyclone, it's always in a safe position. Yeah. That's something I might be able to do quickly. I think, maybe. Though it goes into this generic code for all units. Is safe. That's the key method, probably. Get threat map. Threat to ground, threat to air. I guess I've never had a reason to consider threat to both ground and air. I guess the Colossus has to care about that, but I don't even have this ability built into my bot. My bot just assumes every unit's either a ground unit or an air unit. But I could override this, right? All it's returning is the influence map. I don't have an influence map that makes sense, I don't think. Yeah. Oh well. Let's get rid of the immortals. Just for testing purposes, let's have it pick up the cyclone. See when it drops to 100 health. Just so see the repair a little bit more often.
And take thy form from off my door.
And
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
let's give him Hydras instead. Immortals are too easy to one-shot me. Give him 8 Hydras. Hey, thanks, Beard Sayon with the raid of 4. Cyclone's still at full health. It's nice I didn't have to really change the cyclone micro at all. And kind of just changing like the target positions more or less. So then, but the micro itself, I was able to reuse from my existing cyclone. I guess Hydras without the range upgrade aren't doing much to hit him. Let's give him Marauders. No, Stalkers. They're the same range as Marauders, but they do less damage. Although the Marauders might be more interesting in that it'll show that issue that I have, where I think the medevac will fly right on top of the Marauders and then drop out the Cyclone. $12 and $10. $114. Yeah, it is getting repaired every time it's picked up. So that's good. I'll definitely have to make the medevac pathing a lot more advanced. I think I'll do it the way I kind of do Banshee Harass, where I'll have either go clockwise around the map or counterclockwise and look for bases that way. All right. I mean, it's 10% of the way there, I think. I think one more session and the drop will be decent. But then there's going to be a lot of edge cases I'm going to have to add on over time, as it's going to be complicated with 4 different units. But, you know, it'll give me maybe a fighting chance versus the top bots on the ladder. And I think this will be really cool against humans. If I just have all these, like, medevac bugs everywhere, annoying the hell out of them from all angles. Yeah, I don't think it doesn't care if it's high ground or low ground. It just ends up always dropping on the low ground, which is probably a good thing anyways. It does give it kiting room. Is my AI open source? Yeah. My GitHub is Ketrock, I think. The code is super ugly, as this is my bot. It's also my like workspace where I just write random code and never delete it. And also, it was where I learned how to code. So the uglier the code is, you can tell like the older it is from back when I only knew like loops and if statements. All right. Should probably walk my dog before I go to bed too. It's already 2:30. Glad it's a weekend. I think we'll call it the end of the session here. Let's I guess I'll see if there's someone we can host. Let's host a coding stream, why not? Uh, who's doing what? Project showcase. Gamer challenge. This might be interesting. Create a small game in one night. Took me an entire night just to make my medevac pick up units. No webcam though. Let's give let's give a higher effort stream some viewers. Trying to use Android Studio for CA software development. CA2. Don't know what that is. LLM selector. Oh. LLM would be boring. Let's go with that's like a dual stream. All right, let's host this guy. Any copyright music?
Okay.
Don't think
Looks
so.
like Gain 1.
This is
painful. I'm
classless.
sorry,
Remove
guys.
class. Remove class. Remove class. Remove class.
Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Oh no. Oh, all right. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Have a good night, guys. I'm out of here. Or a good morning to you, Lottie. Whatever.